How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about our favorite transracial woman, the person formerly known as Rachel Dolezal, now known as Nkechi Diallo. She has been accused of welfare fraud to the tune of $8,747 in food assistance and $100 in child care assistance. Pretty weird stuff. They're saying that she engaged in welfare fraud by perjury and making false claims, and she faces up to 15 years in the penitentiary. I doubt she'll get that much time for what she did, but this is just a weird situation. Now, I know there's a lot of jokes that can be made. You could say that she really wanted to get the so-called black experience by engaging in welfare fraud, but this is kind of a deep situation, and I'll explain. But before I go down that rabbit hole, I just want to say that she probably did not need the money, at least from being an outsider looking in. I don't know what her monthly expenses are. I don't know if she has any legal fees or whatnot, but let's just break this down. The charges come as a result of them looking at her bank records and seeing that she deposited $83,000 plus between August 2015 and September 2017. So you're talking about at least 40 grand per 12 months in the past couple of years, prior to this year. So why do you need like less than 9 grand in welfare? Also, I heard that she was braiding hair. Now, if you know, like I know, braiding hair, that's a cash and carry business. You're not going to put that in your bank. And she also had a Netflix special that came out recently, so I'm sure she got paid from that. So you're making base 40 grand per year over the past couple of years, plus you got the hair braiding and you had the Netflix special, and I'm sure she gets donations and stuff, people that really just like what she's doing, that want to support her. I'm sure. I mean, she has to be. I'm sure there's a P.O. box or something like that. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I'm just saying it would make sense for her to get help from people that like her, because believe it or not, she does have supporters out there just like Shaun King, but I'll get to him a little bit later. So my point behind saying all of her other means of being able to get money and or the potential means of her getting money is, why does she actually need all this welfare assistance? And it's not even that much. You're talking about $100. It seems pretty desperate to me to engage in welfare fraud, which could put you in the penitentiary. However, this could be her really trying to experience so-called black experience. She changed her name. She identifies as black. Like, this is official. She came out and said, yeah, I'm white, but I identify as black. I've changed my race. Now this is how I identify. Now it's how I feel comfortable. But if that's the case, then you got to point to mental issues, because like I said, you have to know that this would give you jail time. This is not legal to do this. 15 years in the penitentiary to be more black. It doesn't make any sense. But you know what? Rachel Dolezal, I've seen mental illness in her from the beginning. What kind of person who is obviously white would come out and say that they're black? What is the reasoning? What's going on? Why would you change your name? Why would you do all these different things to just become a different ethnicity? That's like me coming out and saying, no, I identify as a white guy. Obviously, I'm black. That doesn't make any sense for me to try and just change my ethnicity. I could put on a blonde wig. I can put in some blue contact lenses, but obviously I am black. I think there was a thing in their childhood where parents had adopted a black child or multiple black children, and they may have gotten a lot of attention and she didn't. So she may have changed the way she identifies to get that attention. I'm thinking there's some deep-rooted childhood issues, because what's going on here don't make any sense. It's not like she was desperate for money. She has money. Don't get it twisted. She may not be rich, obviously. In that Netflix special, I was hearing, I didn't see it yet. All I saw was like a little preview. I need to go watch that. But I heard she was saying that she was kind of struggling. But if you made 40 grand a year on book sales alone, that's where the money came from book sales. If you've made 40 grand a year over the past 2 years in book sales, plus you have a Netflix special, which I'm sure you got paid for, and you braid hair on the side, which is cash and carry, then how are you struggling for money? There's something else going on here that I don't know about. I think it's a mental issue. And speaking about Shaun King, this is the same thing going on with him. This guy is obviously white. He is white as snow. To say that this guy's black does not make any sense. You know, I'm not saying it's wrong to be white. It's okay to be white. It's okay to be black too. But what's the purpose in lying about your ethnicity? It doesn't make any sense. Like, I can see you. That's like somebody trying to tell me that they're invisible. If they put on the cape on their back, they say, you can't see me anymore. No, I still see you, sir. You're right in front of my face. You're not a superhero. This is real life. This is not a cartoon. This is not anime. I'm looking dead in your eyes. I can see you. It's the same way this guy, Sean King, is trying to convince me that somehow he's actually black when he's obviously white. I mean, there's been pictures that came out of his parents as him as a child. This guy's white. At a certain point, you have to look at somebody that really, really identifies as being black, that desires so much to be a different ethnicity as a mental problem. And it's not even about how somebody acts or whatever. That's bogus. It's about being different than what you are. It's just like a man who identifies as a woman. If you gay or whatever, that's your business. I don't care. But when you start to get into chopping up your genitalia and stuff like that, because you say that I'm not in the right body, you know, my mind is different, that means your mind is messed up. I'm sorry. I mean, it was recently as 1970s that we identified homosexuality as a mental illness. We've fallen so far from that to saying that if you are a 55-year-old white male, you can identify as a 6-year-old black girl. That does not make any sense. You can't just say that I'm a different age than what I am. You can't just say I'm a different race than what I am. You can't just say I'm a different gender than what I am. If you are a white male, that's what you are. It is what it is. Now, you could just not identify as a race. You can just leave the whole race thing out, and that's fine. But what you can't say is that you are different than what you are. If you're going to identify as race, identify as what you are. It's one thing to be ambiguous. If you mix or whatever, that's a whole different story. But if your parents look like they came straight from Ireland and you're born from them, what are we talking about here? If I came straight from Ivory Coast and both of my parents came from there and there's no other race outside of that general area in my family tree, how can I say that I am Hispanic? You're not. Why lie? I think that there's a mental problem going on. And I think that the mental issue made Richard Dolezal go down the whole welfare fraud route. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just telling you my opinion. That's what I think is going on. And the reason why I say that is because there's money that you can point to that she received in the period of time where the welfare fraud took place. So that's pretty much all I got to say about it. What say you? Do you think that this story is just crazy? It's one of those things that does not make any sense. You're talking about $9,000 in welfare fraud and you're facing 15 years in the penitentiary when you were able to get at bare minimum 40 grand a year. You make more than many Americans, maybe more than the average American. And you live in Spokane, Washington. I'm not really sure how much it costs to live out there, but you're making money. You have a Netflix special, you're braiding hair, you have a book. What's the problem? Why are you engaging in welfare fraud? But do you think that she was under financial distress and she had no other choice? Is there no other choice? I'm sure there's a food bank somewhere in Washington. I'm sure there's some way she was able to get childcare and $100. Like, how much money is that really? It doesn't make any sense to engage in welfare fraud for that small amount of money. Do you think this is a fraud? Do you think this is a scam? This is not really real. This is marketing for her books, for her Netflix special, or whatever the case may be. I can't call it, but my verdict is that this just points to a greater issue of mental illness that is seen all throughout America, throughout all races. It's a serious problem, and I hope that she's able to get the help that she deserves. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.